We have a bit of backlight since it is morning. I've changed that wall completely. I took all the paintings down. I have milk coffee now. So I put only four empty canvases as opposed to 20 already made paintings. It looks kind of disheveled. So many nails just sticking out. So it kind of bothers me, which is good because I'm gonna probably either make more paintings or just stretch more canvases in order to just have it make it more sense, let's say. Yeah. So that's today. I do not know what I'm gonna do. I cannot think of. I should be doing courses. I should be transferring the files, the last four courses, into the hard drive, backing them up, and then deleting them off of the cards in order to make more space to paint more courses. I feel quite tired. I went out last night. I had three beers and a glass of wine. It was quite enough to make me feel weird now. I slept quite a bit. I did edit and film the last video while drunk, and I also edited the meditation videos as well. So it's a interesting way just because I have so much momentum and so much I built the habit. It doesn't really matter if I'm drunk or not when I'm editing or making videos. It just feels okay. I need to start the light, I need to start the camera and the microphone, and then everything is fine. So that's one way to do it. The second way is that I just don't care about how I feel, which kind of sounds bad. Speaking nonsense because I do not have my brain fully functioning right now. I kind of felt I was having a cold, but it was just a hangover. I forgot that I drank last night. So that's why I was feeling a bit hungover. I was thinking I was having a lot of like symptoms for a cold, but instead I was like, oh no, I remember just now I drank. That's why. And I don't feel them anymore. After I had some coffee, I don't feel them anymore. I had some water, some coffee, and I'm back into the groove. My brain is slowly waking up. It's a very nice thing to do whenever you have your morning coffee to start talking and start doing one of the hardest activity of the day. It's not the hardest activity, but it is quite difficult to wake up your brain by just talking in front of the camera without a script. It's like instantly paying attention is like, whoa, we have to come up with something. Come on, brain. Squeeze. It doesn't have to be very intelligent, but it can be, or it can be more to do with having fun, making jokes. Who am I kidding? This is neither intelligent or fun. Yeah. Well, I don't know how, but it seems like whenever you have an empty surface, like a desk or a shelf, things tend to accumulate there just, just out of convenience. They just tend to go over on that surface. Like, Jesus. I've cleaned it like 4 times, this table in front of me. I cleaned it like 4 times in the last 2 days, and it still just gets things on top of it. It takes like 1 minute to take the things out, but it's crazy how fast the table just gets cluttered. Ah, coffee, sweet coffee. As you can tell, I'm not really holding up to my diet. That's not because I don't want to hold my diet, or just because I'm cheating. It's because I don't feel like it. I don't feel like I should be holding my diet that strictly. And I'm going to do more sports instead. Summer is coming, so in the summer I don't eat as much. It's practically impossible for me to eat as much in the summer because there is a lot of heat, and it doesn't make you want to eat heavy stuff like meats and things. I tend to stick towards the fruit family in the summer, or not eating as much as usual. I'm kind of, it's kind of unreal the fact that I only have to do 8 more courses to finish my challenge, and to have 6 months of courses. But I feel that always I've dropped the ball exactly at this point because I was like, I don't want to end. I don't want to hit my goal. It doesn't feel that good to hit your goal. What it feels good is like the running part, the so I am procrastinating because I don't want to finish, and I'm making excuses for myself to not do the work. I am going to do it anyway. But yeah, because I have to do it this time. It's not only like me, my editor needs work, so I might need to just do some sprints and make the courses super fast. I'm gonna go out with Sophie. It's a sunny day, so I'm gonna go out and meditate outside again. It's gonna be fun. I cannot wait to just sit in the park and meditate. I know I shouldn't be doing that. I should be just working on the other things instead of going outside and meditating. I might go to my mother's place with some paintings. I'm gonna be checking what paintings I have and giving her one. So, yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do. Probably gonna go to my mother's place to give her the painting. She needs to give it as a gift. So I'm gonna stop into a park and meditate there, and then go to her place. Or no, go to her place first and then meditate when I come back, because I need to give the paintings, and then when I come back, I can meditate without the paintings. It's Saturday, and I have chilled. I've been a lazy bum all day. I meditated twice. I made the beautiful course. I went to my mother's place. I met with a friend randomly in the park while meditating, and I transferred the files, and that's all. I didn't do anything today. That's what I call doing nothing. And then I'm gonna edit some videos in my bed, 3 videos, and post another two, 3 of them actually. So yeah, that's what I call doing nothing all day. It's kind of bad to consider whenever you are doing something as doing nothing. I found myself doing this so many times. I just feel like I'm doing nothing because it's not my highest priority. It's doing stuff to avoid doing other stuff. And whenever it's a habit, not a habit, a thing that I'm doing that's avoiding, I disregard that as being anything, even though it has a productive outcome. So, raise your hand if you did this. I don't know. I'm just strange, I think. I don't know. I never knew. I never know if I am truly different or everyone else does this because I don't share that much of myself to people around me. The things that I find strange about myself, I don't share that with other people. Like, for instance, the fact that I sometimes argue with authorities in my mind, especially if I'm doing something that's quote unquote illegal, like walking Sophie without a leash. I'm constructing arguments and building like a tree of responses for when the cop will tell me to it will tell me that, oh, you need to have a leash on your dog. So I don't know if anyone does that. Like, I don't know if that's strange or I I'm sure some people do it, but I don't think everybody does it. I don't think it's something that most people are doing, like having uh, full on conversations with authorities like the police in their mind, or sticky situations, just finding and coming up with ideas and arguments to get out of these kinds of situations if certain things happen. And yeah, what else do I do? I do have conversations with my friends that I tell them about when I meet them. I'm like, oh, I don't tell them like I had this conversation with you, as in I was playing in my mind the role of you, and then I have the conversation. But I tell them, oh, I was thinking of you. I don't think most people think like that of the other person. Like imagine their response and they have a conversation with them. I think it's strange. It feels a bit like I'm exposing myself talking about this. But yeah, it kind of feels like I've opened a soft spot and I'm opening to the world. It's kind of bad. It feels a bit strange to talk about these things. I don't know. I don't find it strange talking to myself sometimes. So, yeah, maybe I am a bit lonely. As you can see, if you noticed, my whole entire life, if you watched the channel, I don't really have that much of a social life. I'm a recluse. I used to be very, very sociable, but I don't really think it facilitates the life that I want to lead if I have too many friends. It's a bit difficult to do the things that you want if you have social engagements, let's say, a lot of social obligations and engagements. And I know it's because I have a little bit of a problem setting proper boundaries. I've learned that from training Sophie, that how to properly set boundaries so that people understand. I've noticed that I'm much better now at communicating my boundaries and being like, hey, please don't step over this line in a very calm and relaxed manner, being like, this is serious business, don't cross this line. And yeah, I do think it's a bit of a problem that I don't have a lot of people I'm meeting. I don't I, I don't think it's just me. I think everyone has this because when you're an adult, you don't tend to have the same friendships that you had, the same level of friendships, just hanging around with your friends and doing nothing for 2 or 3 hours almost every day. We don't have that anymore. It's You can't have that anymore because you're working every single day. I could have that. I'm not working that much. I am working, but not that much. And yeah, I don't know if I don't feel lonely anymore since I have Sophie. I'm much more okay with being lonely. It used to get a lot more stressful for me if I had a period like this where I was working a lot and just creating a lot of chaos around me by making a lot of projects and doing a lot of things. And then I would just feel as if, what am I doing this for? Like, what's the reason if I'm so alone? But now I don't feel that because I have Sophie. I know it feels sad to say that my dog cured my loneliness, but it's true. And I don't think it's sad. I don't think it's truly sad to say that, oh, my dog is the reason I don't feel lonely anymore. I don't think it's okay to scrutinize that and say it's unhealthy because I would rather be a guy that doesn't feel lonely than a guy that feels lonely. It makes me a bit more able to adjust better to society. I'm definitely not well adjusted to society, both due to the fact that I cannot sleep properly during the night. That's exactly when I become a bit more active. It's 2 in the morning. So, yeah. And I do think that one reason is that I cannot seem to hold connections with people. I cannot do the bare minimum of just talking with them all the time in order to hold friendships for long periods of time. And I think I don't appreciate people that much. I don't. I used to find people super fascinating. And then I met a lot of people and I don't really find them fascinating anymore. It's really not, well, sometimes I do find people fascinating, but just for a few days. And then I go, like, okay, the fascination was just my projection out there. I understand that all of the image that I was presented with was just half of it was true, but half of it was my projection onto the person. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't think, but then again, I don't think that friendship requires fascination. I don't think friendship is about being fascinated about the other person. I used to feel much more like a deep bonding whenever I was friends with someone. But I don't think I let myself anymore to develop that bond with someone because I am thinking of myself that I'm gonna ruin the situation so I don't develop that bond so that I don't feel like I fucked it up. Yeah. But maybe it's better to not. I've I kind of rationalize it to myself that I am not overwhelming the person and not suffocate them, and I don't give just everything to that person I'm bonding with. That's how I rationalize it. And I tend to stay away from we have we are friends usually. I've noticed that what separates our best friends from our other friends is from our other acquaintances is the fact that I'm starting to talk like Jordan Peterson, is that this best friends, we have this ritual where we raise both our emotions to higher and higher heights, depending on the type of emotions that everybody likes. Sometimes it's just crazy excitement, sometimes it's deep, interesting thought, sometimes it's but it's different with all kinds of people. I had a few persons, a few friends that I could call best friends. And with each and every one of them, the emotions were different. The usually what they were seeking as to explore and expand on that emotions changed from person to person to person. I remember when I found out that one of the a person's emotion was disappointment. He wanted to feel disappointment. And I was like, whoa, that's bad. And I'm trying to analyze right now, I'm trying to analyze all of my friendships and try to see what kind of emotions I was seeking from my friends. And I was raising it up. Yeah, it was kind of a like a devious trickster energy. Like I was trying to have this like, this a bit of a mischievous energy. I don't know what emotion would that be, just like cunning. I don't know what kind of, but yeah, that would be the emotion that I was seeking most of the times. But sometimes one of my last best friends, I'm still friends with him. It's been difficult to be friends with him because his emotion is he wants to get, he actually, I'm able to analyze other people much more than I analyze myself because it's not clear for me because I'm not impartial to my own reactions and thoughts and things that I'm saying. So this person was really introspective and tried to understand everything. I don't like that. I don't like trying to understand everything because I find it very useless to, whenever I think about things, I just spend hours thinking. I don't enjoy that. It is force of habit. I don't want to do that, but I do it anyway because it's habitual now. I cannot stop the thinking. I cannot stop the process of going and rolling down this hill of endless ideas. And he was going from this introspective, interesting emotion to kind of like paranoia. And I was bored of the first one, the introspection, and this like, oh, this is so deep. And I was like, yeah, it is, but who cares? As in, what is it useful for? It's like we can impress ourselves with the words that we use and the arguments we construct. We can derive these interesting ideas from these seemingly unrelated events. But who cares? What's the purpose of this? We live so much in the realm of ideas that we forget to do things. We forget to live. So, and then he starts to go to paranoia. And when he went into paranoia, because he would build upon that emotion and then he would flip to paranoia, and that was so like bad. So I would have to cut it off beforehand. I would have to either invent a reason to just move from the room or go somewhere else or do something that just distracts him completely so he doesn't go into that paranoia. So, yeah. And I had a talk with him. I had a very deep talk. I don't think he remembers. I do remember quite vividly what I told him. I told him, look, you are not, whenever you go over a traumatic event, you are not really analyzing and understanding and getting over it. You are doing something different. You are reliving and rekindling that trauma. I'm not saying it's bad to go over your traumatic events to understand and heal and let it go, but he was stoking it. I don't think he really remembers what I said. I'm gonna ask him. And yeah, I think it would have helped him tremendously to understand that he cannot right now touch his past because he has this ritual, this habit of restoking that trauma. And instead of changing the perspective, he just dug the same idea about the problem as he did last time and last time. So he got more ingrained into that identity that he formed around the trauma instead of looking at it from another perspective, so he that trauma doesn't become part of him completely. Whenever you are faced with trauma, you have this choice. It is inevitable that it will become part of you, but you choose what kind of part it becomes. You usually have sort of a binary there. Does the trauma control you, and does the trauma affect you so much that you change your behavior, or you understand that that trauma changed you, but it doesn't have to define you? So, yeah, it's just a sliver part of you. Yeah. Okay. I think that's enough blabbering. That's what I call a mental masturbation. And don't believe anything that anyone says on the internet, especially me. So, thank you for watching and see you in the next one.